Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to the Doral Police Department substation. This is the first event we've had at this facility, so you are our inauguration team here, so thank you for coming. In a couple minutes, we're going to have a presentations by our chief, the director of Miami-Dade County, and our mayor. Afterwards, if anybody needs something in Spanish, we'll be available over on this side. Okay, thank you.
Well, it's still good morning. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for taking the time to be here today. I want to first start out and just recognize some people in the room with me. Our great mayor, Jose Juan Carlos Bermudez, our council members, Claudia Mariaca, Pete Cabrera, our city manager, Eddie Rojas, our deputy city manager, Al Childress, our city attorney, and our city clerk. And first to the men and women of the Doral Police Department, I say it all the time, thank you for what you do day in and day out. You know, today is one of those days, you know, you hope you don't have to come out and talk about, but it was a challenge. One of our dear police officers, Gary King, who's been in law enforcement since 1969, was shot last night. Not as a police officer, but as a citizen. Like anybody else in this world, he was coming home and he was ambushed. Gary's going to be okay, but he went through a long night and a long surgery. So it's the awareness of these situations that we have to be taken to note. You know, it can happen anywhere, any day of the week, 365 days a year. But a little bit about Gary's story. You know, Gary is a mentor to so many of us. He started in 1969. He worked in the City of Miami Police Department, retired from the Miami-Dade Police Department after 25 years, and he joined our agency when it first started 10 years ago. Gary's like the voice of reason. He truly cares. He's compassionate, he loves the profession, and he's like an older brother to so many of us. His words of wisdom are always there for us when we need them. He is what policing needs. And I know if Gary was here now, he'd say, hey, it's better it happened to me than somebody else in our community. I owe some thank yous. And the first is obviously to our mayor and council for what they do in supporting us every day. To the Miami-Dade Police Department, Director Perez and his troops did a phenomenal job last night. And there were numerous agencies also out there helping us, and they did a wonderful job too. Jackson Memorial Hospital South, I tell you, if something happens, Jackson knows what to do, and they're always there for law enforcement. The director's here, and he's going to make a few comments of what he can talk about the investigation, but it's important that you keep this story going until the case is closed, and that's what I ask of you. So, Director, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, thank you. You know, again, I'm here just in support of Gary, because he was with our agencies for so many years, and he was so well liked and a true professional at all times, very well respected, obviously by the camaraderie he's built here in this agency and the love that people have for him here, and the love that our agency is still showing for him. You know, he's truly a great man, a great family man, and he was involved in an unfortunate incident last night, and it could have been anybody, like the chief said. Just happened to have been Gary King, and he's recovering, and we're thankful to God that he's going to be okay. You know, as far as the investigation goes, we're still diligently working that case and have not stopped working it. We were able to make some progress. I cannot talk about that progress, but what I do want to encourage anyone in the community that's seeing this, that's watching this, if you know something about this incident, please call Crime Stoppers or call the police. If you want to remain anonymous, Crime Stoppers is the way to go. If not, call the police and give the information that you have pertaining to this case. That's all I can share right now. I do not want to harm the case as it is ongoing right now. So thank you. I think we're going to take questions in a second. So,
Mayor, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I'll just be brief, and obviously, most importantly, thank our police department, Chief DeLuca, and the great job they've done, but also Director Perez, fantastic job done by Metro-Dade Police, who luckily we have right here in Doral also. Lieutenant King was one of the founders of our police department, but those that know him know that he has been very proud of being here in Doral. I can tell you we had a chance to speak very briefly last night, and in a difficult moment he remained with great spirits. I want to thank all the other police departments and many that work through the county that helped us, but in particular Mayor Gene Flynn of Palmetto Bay, where Gary is and his wife and his family reside, who reached out to me immediately and were integral in helping last night, making sure that the community stayed safe in Palmetto Bay and that this case is being diligently worked on. And again, like Director Perez said, I think the most important thing is anybody that has any information, please reach out to Crime Stoppers or call the Metro-Dade Police Department because I do believe that it's our duty to make sure that until this investigation is done, we need to make sure that whoever committed this crime be brought to justice. It could happen to anyone in Miami-Dade County. In this case, Lieutenant King and his family, unfortunately, were the ones that suffered this incident. And speaking as a county resident, not just as the Mayor Doral, this is paradise. The only way we keep it as paradise is if all of us work together against those people who do not want to make it paradise for the rest of us. Thank you very much.
Now we'll open up and take a few questions.
Chief,
Willard?
Chief, you address the danger these people pose to our community? First of all, and secondly, obviously, the lieutenant has a tremendous amount of experience and training the general public doesn't have, which I'm sure went into play last night. If people do encounter this kind of situation, advice and tips you have as well.
Well, first, Dade County is a very safe place to live. And I know how safe Doral is, and the director can talk about the county. This can happen anywhere. But, unfortunately, there's some bad people out there that try to cause harm. But people need to report when they see something that doesn't seem right. There were many opportunities for this may not to happen. But like I said, Gary King has training. He's been in law enforcement for almost 50 years. His knowledge of what to do and not to do is important. I think if anybody is confronted with this situation, the best thing is try to reserve yourself. Do not engage the people. You give them their jewelry. You don't fight, but try to take in as much information as you can. But also our city and the county, there's citizens police academies, there's defense mechanisms you can learn and be trained in, and they're open to the public that they should explore those.
Director Price, can you tell us what we know so far? Just kind of, bring us kind of through the timeline of what happened. So he was heading home with his family.
I think, and go ahead, what was the next story? The next part, because you got it right so far. So,
was he out shopping? What was he doing? And then
so he was running some chores with his wife. He went to take, like all of us do, and he visited a couple of locations off of US 136th Street and was followed home. And I think everybody kind of knows that, and that's when he was ambushed in his driveway shortly after. So, again, we are progressing in this case, so I don't want to divulge too much, and so we can honor this case and really protect the integrity of it.
Do you know how many people you're looking for? What the thought is on?
I believe yesterday they gave those numbers. I think they said 4 people were possibly in a red car, and that was what was given out last night.
We know a gun was stolen. Was he
Go ahead. You've been trying. 1 second. Let me get them out of the way, because.
I spoke to investigators this morning that said a few people have been detained. Can you tell us if those people are persons of interest at this time?
At this time, I don't want to divulge anything a part of the case because I don't want to harm the case right now because I'm not privy to what the investigators are doing out in the field. Okay, thank you.
Okay, a gun was stolen. Do we know if he was shot with his own gun or whose gun?
Okay, so that is very important. Thank you for bringing it up, and I think that's what you were trying to bring up, right, Willard? So these individuals are armed. And these individuals are not only, these at least, at minimal right now, we know that in their possession, they have the officer's gun. So they are very dangerous individuals. So what we ask the community is if you know who they are, do not approach them, do not try and be a hero, but to call us and let us confront and let us do that part. Because we know that they are armed. That is still being investigated to see what occurred there, the number of shots or who fired what or whatever. We're trying to figure that out.